TLDR.
What?
Basically her caption. Too long, didn't read.
The biggest wound I have that my child did not have both her parents in the same frame.
There's this perception that single moms aren't present for their children, but that's not true.
You're the first line of defense, offense, everything. What was the question?
It's the same every day at home. The talking doesn't stop. TLDR.
What?
Basically her captions. Too long, didn't read. IMO, you shouldn't wear pink on Wednesdays.
How I knew this one? IMU.
No, IMO, no.
Lump it. What is
In
it?
my opinion.
Oh my God. You know, we have time. We can say it. There, you said it. In my opinion.
Oh. I had a doctor alter ego.
What?
Yeah.
Who are you? Which is this
Remember-
child? I don't know. Are you ready? Activities?
I was watching reels a weekend activity.
That is something you just do. Can we do this again?
No, we
With,
can't.
no, with some of it. Okay, done?
Yeah.
Should we show? That came to me, but that was just not enough. You're everything. Yeah, it was just one small part of you. She's amazing. She's truly amazing. She has again, I'm going to say, she has a strength despite brokenness also, which I have a lot of trust in, you know. Yeah. She's. I feel she's a child who's had a lot of very, very strong experiences already by virtue of being a single parent's child of this thing, which she has amazing. I think the way she's been with it and what she's come out despite those experiences is it's really her. It's her soul. It's her being. It's her, really her, and I have great admiration and respect for my child. Yeah.
I feel like me and mom have like always been super close, besties, and I think mama has really managed to create a super safe and non-judgmental space at home for me. And I think because of that, it's just been very, very easy, even like tough stuff to breach with her and just bring it up. I think I expect support from her because growing up, it's just been that way. So I just assume.
Yeah, I would say she knows me even better than I. Yeah, she's very intuitive about me. Very.
Can't replace mom. Can
Yeah.
you?
No.
I feel like because she doesn't understand what a huge part of our lives social media is as Gen Z, any problems associated also are not understood in that the level that we let it bother us. Like, oh, I made a post and this friend who I thought was very close to me, she hasn't commented. So wait, what has happened? And I'll like read into it and it'll get me into a bad headspace. And I'll bring it up with mom and I'll be like, Mom, you know, so-and-so didn't like comment on my post. And she'll just look at me like, so, what's the big deal? Then I'll feel a sort of judgment from her from that angle. And then I'll be like, So I think very social media related things. And then she'll be like, don't let it bother you. But then it's already bothering me now. What do I do about it?
Yeah. So it's true. I am very judgmental of that. It's true.
Yeah.
I think I judge that, oh goodness, how can something like this impact a young person's mind this much? And I know and I understand, and I'm judgmental about what I understand. It's like,
And then the next thing is, get off it. Arey?
honestly, how many times have I told you this? Are you sure? Okay, this is different in my head, yeah? I'm sure I've said it to you a couple of times, but if it's not a lot, because I know it's not a possibility, it's not something that's going to happen. It's not even a ask I can have beyond a point, you know? I know वो नहीं होगा. तो एक stupid
But
चीज़
it
होना
comes
है.
out.
Maybe like a lot, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a very easy way, I feel, of communication and keeping in touch. Reels, bro, it's like you send each other reels and it's like, okay, you are in touch with this person. You don't have to come up with like wholesome, meaningful conversations to have on a daily basis. But there are so many of my friends that I'm right now just keeping in touch with through reels. We'll send reels, react to reels, and you feel like, okay, we're connected. Because you find ways to bond and you find areas of similarity. Which I don't know if like normal conversations bring anymore, or now they've just become so difficult because of reels, I feel, and because now there is an easier option, then why not? And after a point, it's like whenever you'll be like, hey, how are you doing? Pehle to that's so lame. What are you, auntie? I mean, we do this a lot actually. Lots of mental health checks happen. But it'll be like, hey, I'm good. You know, only with like very, very close friends will they be like, okay, I'm not that good or I'm going through something. But if it's like a friend, they'll be like, I'm good, you know. The response to how are you is, I'm good. So then where does that go with the conversation?
But what is the reel saying at that moment? If it's not, I'm not good, then what is the reel saying?
No, it's not like that. It's just like, send random reels about anything and everything, and
so it's totally a deflecting thing only, no?
Yeah, it's just a way to just be in touch.
Correct. But I'm saying if the question is how are you and that day you're not good, will your reel say that?
No.
So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's everything is a diversionary, deflecting.
If you want
to deal with it.
If you want to have those kind of conversation, both parties have to be open and willing to share. And I feel like if you're not very close to the person, you're not going to be telling them about your family issues or whatever you're going through. And I think most of these kind of conversations happen over call, at least with me.
The quickest of stimulation, the quickest of way, the quickest of gratification, the quickest of everything. A conversation like that requires other stuff, you know, and I think have we become so deadened and so heavy with everything that we don't have the space only now. Even with where we intend to have it, we don't have it anymore. I'm asking that question.
No, we do have it.
We have it. Yeah. Right. Okay. That's really good to know.
I feel like friends will give very, very relatable and, you know, where we've been there kind of support. Whereas mama would give more of like how to deal. She'll kind of give me the tools to deal with it and the more emotional support that I need in that moment. But friends will be more like, you know, because they're going through the same stuff. So it's that relatability.
Can I ask what is that thing? What is that? How? Like for example, okay, you're having a meltdown. Okay, for example.
Yeah.
Let's say it's about exams. Okay, so I know how it'll fly between you and me, right? I know that. But if at that point you called up Ananya, what would she say?
See, her perspective will be the perspective of a fellow 16-year-old.
Yeah, what is that?
Who's also going through...
I know, but what will she say? Like, I would just...
It's just... You feel a sense of solidarity. Like, they'll give you that feeling of, you know, we've been there. And everything you're saying is like, we felt it. And whatever you're going through, it's not unusual and you're not alone in this. And that itself will help. It doesn't have to be like some wise, you know, drops of wisdom, and we'll go through it together, and that helps. Obviously, there have been times earlier when I would be having issues in school with like friends and stuff that I felt like I can deal with this myself. And if there was any glitch in my own character where I felt like I wasn't the best human being, and there were consequences because of that, like if I would lose out on a friend because of stuff like that, I wouldn't bring that up with mom because I didn't want to fall short in her eyes. So I never did. Even if I was having trouble in school with friends, friend groups, I felt like I had to figure that out on my own because I didn't want her to think that I was not a nice person in any which way. So then I didn't. So then I didn't bring it up with her. But I feel like as of recent, there haven't been. And this is all before my teen years, so that's actually funny because usually in other situations it works the other way around. But for us, it was, yeah, I think now everything, I tell mom everything. I don't know. I felt like who I was at home and who I was in school was actually very different, at least earlier in primary. And I was so desperately trying to fit in school in my primary years that I would be mean and I would not be the best person. But that's not how I was at home. At home, I was like, at least I was known to be the very kind child. And I didn't want anything to interfere with her interpretation of me in that way. Obviously, she's mom, she'll see through everything. But at that time, I was like, no, I need to maintain the, I feel.
That's a hard one to hear. She told me about this years later, actually. She went through some not nice space when she was in the 6th standard. And it was fairly strong for her. And I didn't know about it for, when did you tell me? During the pandemic, a little before that, I think, sometime.
No, 8th grade, 2019.
Yeah. Okay, so that was very hard to hear. But the reason why she didn't tell me, she has not said that to me like this before. You've not said that to me. So that's hard to hear. That's hard to hear.
Not anymore though.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm sure, okay, that's something, point I'm taken to get into more. I've stopped short on many times, but it's not because she will not understand. I have no doubt on Noor's comprehension or being able to understand something in its. She might not be able to understand sometimes the nuance of something only because of age and nothing else. But I have several times stopped short of stuff which I think will be too painful for her.
Because I always felt like if she had told me, I could have actually provided more support rather than it be an extra thing for her to deal with. I think I would have actually helped her go through it and we would have gone through it together. But
so that's the thing. So I think we both want to protect
the other one.
and how I think you will describe me. Okay, so can I take a photo of that, please? I just want to.
There's a video.
Doesn't
it's
matter.
being recorded.
No, come here, come here. These are very precious things for mummies.
I think providing in every way for me needs strength, right? It's like emotional, financial, being able to do all of that at the same time, and then managing to stay my friend but also be the mom and then make those decisions on her own and then deal with her problems but then also take in mine. Yeah, all of that requires strength. And
yeah, it does.
And it's powerhouse.
I think every generation this is the thing, no? The relatability with parent, that's the classic generation gap on one level, isn't it? I do not think it's possible in a dynamic between a parent and a child beyond a point. Because truly, even though we have been through it, obviously, the way they are going through it is different. Because a lot of stuff is different. And those things inform their experience, which is very different from our experience. I'm not going through that experience myself. So I can never ever have that same level of empathy. I can't. It's a very mind empathy, and what they're going through is a feeling. I can feel for her on another level, but I can't feel for that exact experience because I'm not experiencing it. So वो नहीं होगा. But yeah, for in any other way, having said that, to be there, to be present, whether in a good, bad, fighting, not fighting way about it, but yeah, just that I'll always have a back, always. Yeah. So it's a peculiar thing. She might not agree to it. So it's a constant struggle now, I find, with the fact that my work requires me to travel a lot. And this is me having literally, like, through life, refused a lot of work because I needed to be, around Noor. And that's my choice completely because that's how I wanted it to happen. So I feel whilst she understands, but I feel there are times where I'm traveling or when I'm even working, like, she can have a problem with it. And so I'm not sure judged.
Especially
but it's
because
like,
you're a single mom, I
yeah,
feel.
because I'm a single mom.
Because it's like, there's no one else at home, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, either mom's there or she's not there. So then either you're alone or you have someone.
Yeah.
So I
So-
think this would be the case in most single mom
Yeah.
kid relationships, where if the single mom is working, the kid's then alone, and then obviously after a point it will.
Yeah, so this is an area that now is becoming a little this thing for me, and I know it will settle in some time, but it's an area of struggle for both of us. We're really struggling with this right now. Also because my mum used to be with us a lot, then we lost her last year. Shit, sorry. So yeah, my sister used to be there often, but now she's not. So it's like a house which had more people. Suddenly there are less people. So I think and suddenly I'm having to travel. So yeah, no, actually not at all. So I think I've always wanted approval. So that's the thing. I was totally one of those. तो relatable तो है ही नहीं कुछ तो बोल ही नहीं सकते. My sister, I have an elder sister, just like a 1.5 से भी कम year का gap. She was the one who used to always be going and telling mom everything. I have never spoken to my mom about the other stuff, but I've been like an insane level of attachment, but not relatability. And this is when my mom was a fairly woke woman, Noori now has a boyfriend, and I'm okay to say that. And yeah, so it's a very interesting space for me to be looking at, because I used to have boyfriends at her age, but I could never ever say that to my mum at that age, and we had to always hide. We always had to sort of, yeah. So I would like for it to not be that for Noor, and so to try and be as open as, yet I understand as a parent, some, I suppose, boundaries have to be created. So I think I always wanted her approval. I'm literally that. And because I was always so Noor is like she's like this, I think she's this beautiful thing, no? So, yeah. What was the question? Sorry, what was the question? Whether I had that with my mum? No, actually not at all. So I think I've always wanted approval. I think a year before she died, I asked her, so tell me one thing that you like about me. And she said, the fact that you're a very good mother. I remember this. Remember I told you this? Yeah.
And she's right.
Yeah, but that's all that you liked about me. So no, not literally like that, but yeah. So it was I didn't have that relationship with my mom at all. everybody knows it's hard, yeah, and it is hard. Her dad was also there. It's not like he's not there. But you're always the primary person. You're the first line of defense, offense, everything. I think that's the thing on everything, which is hard. It's like that's the hardest. Yeah.
I think even more than normal for like people from like nuclear families, they'll be able to reach out to both parents equally, I feel. But for me, it was always mom first. It still is.
I would say I'm the one who, for me, it was the toughest thing that my child is not going to have a familial unit as I understood it as we grew up. And truly, and I've said this to Noor even recently, if I had to say, it's like the biggest wound I have, that my child did not have both her parents in the same frame often enough. So it's something it's like really tough for me. But it's me because of our conditioning. We grow up with just how important that unit is supposed to be. Whereas it completely logically, we know if it's a damaged unit, it should not be. That's probably more detrimental to the child than, but it's something, I really need to still work on. It's really hard for me to have that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes like friends will be like, come over to my house for dinner or for lunch or something, because I know that your mom's like always traveling.
I heard this recently. It was like a dagger in my heart. I swear.
And it's obviously coming out of a good space from their side, but for me it's like, she's not always traveling. She's there for me. Don't feel like she's not there for me. It's like, we know your mom isn't around, so if you need food from our house, or if you need my mom to take you out somewhere, I'm like, no, I don't need that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's like shit for me to hear. Like, it really pisses me off. Can I just say that?
Sometimes,
I mean, it's coming from a good space, whoever's saying it, but it really makes me angry. Because...
Come from a good space.
Yeah, because, oh God. I mean, it's not like there's a reality check of every day. It's like one odd thing is being commented on in the thing, and it does zero on all
so
my...
I feel like that's not what should... Like, my mom's literally been there for anything and everything I need. So I don't want this misconception going around that, oh, we'll help you. I don't need that help. My mom's giving me everything I need.
When I was growing up, I had a working mom, of course. And it's very funny that a friend of mine used to come to my house to study. And I used to be very judgy of her mother, because her mother used to go and be playing cards at the club. So when I heard that, I think it triggered that part of my whole story and made me so angry when she told me that. Noor, I can't tell you. Yeah.
In society, even though it's like accepted and everything, there's this perception that single moms aren't present for their children, or they aren't there as much as moms who have a husband to support them. But that's not true. I think that misconception should be abolished. I grew up with a single mom, and I feel like it's been easier, to be honest, because who wants to watch their parents fight? It's just an added thing. So it was easier, and this way I got like one more family. I wouldn't have my sister if they hadn't gotten separated, because she's my half sister, but I like love her with my full heart. So yeah, I think it led in another family for me and more support. So no.
Are you really saying that?
Yeah.
Or is it just because it sounds a certain way?
No.
Because that's amazing. So to keep at it, just to keep at it, and fun. I think just zones of fun, and whatever that downtime is with your kid, Like Noor and I used to paint and a lot earlier. That before we really got into watching, Noor and I have painted a lot together. A lot. That used to be our way.
Bonding activities.
That used to be our bonding activity. You know, that yeah, a lot of that. So to create that one something which is. Now it's watching for Noor and I, but it's just great. I cannot tell you, she's my, like I love to watch movies almost mostest with her because it's just fabulous to watch movies with her. So just to create that one, you know, thing with your child where it's not only about just whatever, it's just, and empathy yaar, as much as possible because relatable to beyond a point nahi ho sakte hum, lekin empathetic kitne ho sakte hain, that I suppose. She's saying now, shut up.
Help your child feel less judged, because I feel like with friends, with anyone else, they will be feeling judged. I think the parent is the one space where you can just be like, hey, I'll tell you my whole truth and just hear me out and please don't judge me. So the minute I feel judgment goes, so many problems will be resolved. And then obviously parents need to kind of put themselves in the shoes of the kids and not think of when they were in what it was like in their generation, but be like, okay, wait, times have changed, and hear the child out and not have like explosive reactions, I feel.
But do you feel that I don't have explosive reactions to things that are very...
Yeah, no, you don't.
That's have like... very good for me to hear.
We have like proper discussions about like difficult stuff as well, and that's...
Sure, right?
Yeah.
This is very good for me to hear. It's like if, you know, you can bring something that's volatile in nature to me and I'm not going to first flip. I'll first hear you,
hear
right?
Hear me out.
I'm giving myself 100 marks for this. It's just fab. Yeah, that's the big one.
It's like the kid is like not doing good, but at that point you're like, no, I want to be a parent first. But for you, it's like when I'm not doing good or I've been put in a fix, it's like the friend in you comes out. And that's what I feel is different.
Okay. I know it's the most cliche thing, but honestly, if we will not hear it from them, it's not possible beyond a point to intuit such. How much of investigation, detective giri can you do, yaar, you know? So please, you know, just communicate, talk somehow. If you can't do it, send messages, write. Anything, whichever works for you, but something.
So that's the thing. If the parents will create the safe space, and then the children need to communicate. So it has to be like a two-way.
Yeah, man. That's like, because without that, there's nothing. I haven't said it. What is it? What I haven't said to you?
I think you need a bigger cupboard. She takes my space.
Not that I've not heard it before, but you have to see our fights. We have real big-ass fights, so, you know.
Nicely, I'm schooling you. I'm loving it.
There will be a chance where I start schooling you.
Listen to me. You're giving all the content they want. We both cried together when India beat Pakistan.
The breakups, he didn't tell me directly. Otherwise, I would have asked him and told him, don't worry, there's one more girl is waiting.
I'm guilty of not opening up much. So I think this session, you've really opened up a lot. Vulnerability has come out.